In this video, we're just going to compare the maps that come with two very similar sized watches that have very similar style of screens. So on the left hand side, I've got the Garmin Fenix 8 AMOLED version. So it's the one with a nice bright AMOLED screen. And on the right hand side, I've got the Suunto Race. It's actually the steel version. Titanium version just has a titanium bezel, slightly stronger and lighter bezel than the steel, but comes with exactly the same maps. Also has the bright AMOLED screen. Now, both of these watches, you have options for maps in the background, which is brilliant when you're following a route on your watch. You've sent a route to your watch to navigate with. It's just nice to actually have a map in the background. I'll start with the Garmin on the left hand side. So the Fenix 8 AMOLED on the left hand side comes pre-installed with Garmin's Topo Active Europe maps that cover all of Europe. You can download other maps to the Garmin for other parts of the world. They also have ski maps as well. Now, with the Garmin map, one of the big differences is, you'll notice when we start looking at it, it does have street labels on it, so you will see names marked on the map. I'll just unlock it here and just move it around a bit. I can actually see a name marked here on the road that we're currently on. So it does have street labels. We won't see that on the Suunto. The other thing that the Garmin has as a feature, it has what we call routable data. So a bit like a car sat-nav experience, you can select in the watch to search for a point of interest and get the watch to navigate you to that point of interest. If you were cycling, you could pick something like a town or a village, and it will snap onto the roads and create a live route for you and actually give you turn indications. I generally find if I'm doing off-road trail stuff, I don't use that feature because it doesn't have all the paths marked that I'd want to go on. So potentially it can take you on paths that you don't want to go on or a little bit out of your way. And sometimes I find some of the paths that are marked or shown as a path aren't actually in the United Kingdom public right away, even though they are paths. So generally that feature I tend to only use for cycling, but it does have paths and trails marked. I can see the red dashes here along the River Coquet where we are in Rothbury, which is a footpath along the river. So the main differences really to me with the Garmin are, it does have that searchable data for points of interest, and it also does have some street labels. Otherwise, we'll have a look at what the detail looks like and the sort of differences and how it moves around on the screen. So if I look at the Suunto Race on the right hand side, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit on this one. You'll see it doesn't have street labels on this one, but it does have a lot of detail. I'm just going to zoom back in again. Actually, where we are at the minute, we're in a building, so it's actually got the building marked. But on the Garmin, if I zoom in, we don't actually see the building where we are. I'm just going to zoom in here. It just shows the road to the right of us. Now, the watches will be jumping around a little bit because we haven't got full satellite lock inside, and I've got them right next to each other, side by side. Obviously, once we go outside, I'd normally calibrate the compasses on them, and then they will line up properly with what we call track up, so the point, the way they're heading. So you might just see them moving around a little bit as they lock on and off to satellites. Now, just while we're looking at them side by side, what you've got on the Garmin, on the top left of the screen, we've got a north pointer. That little red pointer is telling us where north is. And the little blue triangle, it always stays in the bottom third of the map. That is your current position. And as you move, that moves across the map. On the Suunto Race, the north pointer is actually at the bottom right of the screen, and the position indicator is always in the centre. So it's this little black circle with the white triangle. I'll just zoom in a little bit closer there. That's your position indicator. In the centre on the Suunto, at the bottom third on the Garmin. Now, for zooming in and out on the Garmin, I'm just using the buttons on the side of the unit, zooming in and zooming out. We've got the plus and minus buttons here. It is a touch screen. You can have touch screen disabled and use buttons to move around if you prefer. But sometimes I find when you want to move the map around, it is a little bit easier. I'll just unlock the screen just to use the touch screen. Same on the Suunto. We actually can use a button control, but I find it easier with the actual touch screen to move the map around. The way we zoom in on the Suunto watch that I really like, we have this scroll wheel on the side, and as I turn the scroll wheel, it zooms in, and as I turn it the opposite way, it zooms out, and it zooms in and out really nice and quickly. What I have found is the Suunto watch does render the maps a lot quicker. They do move a lot quicker. Now, when I'm doing an activity, I've never had an issue on the Garmin that it's not moving quick enough, whether I've been cycling, trail running or hiking. But when you actually move the map, you can see here, as I'm moving the Garmin on the left-hand side, getting that little white screen just as it renders. It could be due to the live data on the map that's making it take a little bit longer to render. But what you'll see on the Suunto, you can see how quick that's moving there across the screen. So nice and quick. I don't really get an awful lot of lag. So it moves nice and quick. Again, I'll just move the Garmin. You can see I'm getting that little white screen there. So there is just a little bit of lag. What I like with the Suunto, we've got a setting where after 20 seconds, it automatically recenters to where you are. I've actually set that with the Garmin. I've actually just pressed this button on the bottom right and it recenters to where we are. And if I move this around here, you can see we've got the river on the right-hand side. And again, it's just showing you the sort of information we see. What I like about the Suunto, we've got lots of buildings marked, so you will see the shapes for buildings. It's got all the roads. It does have trails. It does have contour lines as well. I'm just going to zoom out. Just get it to a level where you can see we do, as we go up into the hills, you can see the trails marked here, the little dashes for the footpaths, and we do have contour lines. We do have contour lines on the Garmin watch as well. I'm just going to see if we can show you. Probably not as clear to see, actually. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit and move it around and just zoom in. You can see there is some contour shapes on there, maybe not as clear to see, but both nice maps. They're both nice colour maps and they just work in a different way. So really for me, I'll just center them back again. Garmin, if you want that live routable data, maybe more for cycling, it does have that. We don't have that on the Suunto, and we have street labels on the Garmin that we don't have on the Suunto. But other than that, I think you've probably see from the video, the Suunto does move. I'll just zoom it in again, so a little bit closer, probably a little bit far out there. It does move pretty quick when you're moving it around on the touchscreen. We don't get as much lag, I suppose, as the Garmin, and it is nice and detailed with the buildings and the contour lines, and we do have trails. We just don't have that live data, and we don't have the street labels. And the difference when you're actually moving on the map, I'll just recenter both of them. Just remember, on the Garmin, the position indicator is in the bottom third, whereas on the Suunto watch, it's in the center of the watch. So I hope it's just giving you an idea and a feel of what these maps are like. With the Suunto watch, you download the maps yourself using Wi-Fi. So whereas the Garmin come preloaded with the maps, with the Suunto, you connect to a Suunto app, and using Wi-Fi, you pick different regions. So I've got on this Suunto race, I've downloaded the whole of Great Britain. I've got Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland, and I've actually put the Channel Islands on as well. I just downloaded them bit by bit. I didn't do them all at once. It'll depend on your Wi-Fi speed, and you can pick other parts of the world. With the Garmin, it comes preloaded with the Europe maps, and again, you can download other parts of the world using Wi-Fi as well. So I hope you found this video useful. For full information on both watches, where we have more detailed specs and lots of more information on the watches, please visit us at gpstraining.co.uk, and under the store you'll see the heading for GPS watches, where you'll find both of these watches. Purchasing either of these watches from GPS Training, you do get links and access to all of our training videos. We've put many videos together on getting started and using both of these watches. You get that included as part of your support package from GPS Training, as well as email and telephone support if you do buy one of these watches from us. And thanks for watching.